So thank you so much for just giving me a couple of minutes to talk to you about our daughter Jenna, my husband David is here as well, and the Chromosome 18 Registry and Research Society. Jenna was born about 2.5 years ago, and she was 3 pounds 11 and a half ounces. We thought that her size was going to be the biggest obstacle she had to overcome. When I woke up from anesthesia, I saw tears of joy in my husband's eyes, and I felt the immediate love he had for her when he said to me, "Kimmy, she's beautiful." So those words are hanging in the air, and a nurse says to me, "And don't worry about that cleft palate, they can fix that." And that began our journey. So a few weeks later, we met with a geneticist from the hospital who said, the hospital automatically does genetic testing or chromosomal analysis on babies who are born with craniofacial abnormalities, in her case it was the cleft palate. And they wanted to give us a crash course in genetics. So, they told us that, normally you have 26 sets of chromosomes, half you get from your parent, your mother, half from your father, blah, blah, blah. And in Jenna's case, she has a syndrome called ring 18. And they didn't have much information about it. There were only 100 cases worldwide that they could find. So they gave us a pamphlet, and they said, here are some of the symptoms that may present. So craniofacial abnormalities, which in her case was the cleft palate. It could be cleft lip. You could be looking at brain abnormalities, gastrointestinal issues, kidney problems, vision loss, hearing loss, this whole slew of things. But we don't have a lot of information, so why don't you get in touch with the Chromosome 18 Registry? They can probably help you. So my husband was more open to it than I was, because of course I'm in immediate denial. There's only 100 cases, it can't be her, right? It's gotta be more than that. So eventually I did get in touch with the registry, and they put us in contact with some other families who had already walked in our steps. They were a little farther down the road than us. And one of the moms that I talked to had a 5-year-old son. And before he was born, she got the diagnosis of ring 18 for him. And the doctor said to her, we just don't have a lot of information about this. And if he lives through delivery, he's going to be severely retarded. Another mom that I talked to through the registry said, that she got her diagnosis after her daughter was born. And the doctor said to her, I really think the best thing you can do for that baby is to put her in an institution, because we just don't have any information on this. The mission of the Chromosome 18 Registry and Research Society is to help people with chromosome 18 abnormalities overcome the obstacles that they'll face so that they can live happy, healthy, productive lives. And wouldn't it be wonderful if the first obstacle they could overcome was a doctor who didn't have any information? So that young boy who was 5, who the doctor said probably wouldn't live to delivery, is now walking and works an iPad like nobody's business. And the other little girl is 26 now, and she lives in an apartment with her parents, and she comes to every annual conference that the registry has. And she remembers everybody's name, and she welcomes you with a smile, because they don't have the mean gene. This year, over the summer, we went to the first conference for us, which was in Indianapolis. So it was our first family road trip. And it was one of the big events that the Chromosome 18 Registry sponsors, because they want other families to know that you're not alone in this, that there are lots of other people who are experiencing the same thing. It's growing every year, which is great. They have educational seminars, they have fun things to do for the children who are affected, for the families, for the siblings, and you just come away with a sense of camaraderie. You know you're not alone. You meet with the other children, and you see that it is going to be okay, because doesn't every parent just want to know? It will be okay. And so there's a story that goes, there's a man walking down the beach. He sees a woman and she's throwing something into the ocean. And he doesn't know what she's doing. So he continues down the beach and he walks up to her. And he realizes that she's picking up starfish that have washed ashore. And one by one she's throwing them back. And he says to her, "What are you doing? Don't you know there are thousands of starfish here? And it's up and down the coast. How are you ever going to make a difference?" And she says to him, as she bends down and picks one up and throws it into the ocean, "I made a difference to that one." And even though we now know that there are other families with chromosome 18 abnormalities, we're not alone. And that's why your support means so much to us. Because 97% of what is raised for our charity is used for the research for our charity. They don't let us stretch a dollar. So what we'd like to say is thank you to Blush Wine Bar, and thank you for the lovely preschoolers who made the ornaments. So please drink up and enjoy yourselves. And have a wonderful holiday.